let's look at a couple examples here. Let me open up a Colab. There are two things that I keep tripping over so many times it makes me feel stupid. One that's gotten me like every couple of months for years and got me again last week. Let me make a new, first I got to sign in. Okay. All right, now I make a new notebook. All right, and you were talking about global variables, which is very interesting. So if I define a function, let me make this bigger. Okay, and fit in the right area of the screen. Okay, if I define 2 of n, and then I set n equals 2, and then return. All right, and now I set a equals 1 and calculate 2 of a. Let's return n here, and then print what comes back. There we are. All right, so this part makes sense, although the AI is trying to match my parentheses and give me a headache. All right, so this will set n equal to 2. This will call 2 of a, and then it's going to complain about missed parentheses. Let me fix that. All right, so I get 2. All right, that is what you expect. I pass it a number, the answer comes out as 2. In fact, it might make a little more sense if I return 2 times n. There. Now it's going to double whatever I send there. So if I send it 1, I'm going to get 2. But the interesting thing is what happened to a. If I print a, what's going to be an a? It's 1, right? Because what happens, and it's easy to see if you look at the assembly code, when you pass a variable to a function, it will make a copy of the variable and work from the copy and not pass it back down. Now you could return it. I could return it this way. And then I could do this. I could have a x equals 2 of a. And now when I print a, it'll be 2. Nope, I thought it would be. Wait a minute, I returned n. Oh, I didn't return 2 times n, pardon me. Okay. Right, I didn't, what I have to, want to get this way, I said n equals 2 times n. Okay. Okay, and now return n. This is what you do. If you return it, you can return it and then it'll change. But the variable put down here will not come back. But if you make it global, you define it typically up here. All right, and now I set it to 1. Now I call x equals 2 of a, and then print a. Now I'd have to define it up here as global, a. And I won't bother passing in an argument anymore. Now, n is 2 times a. A is 2 times a, there we are. All right, and return a. I'm not even sure you need to return a, but it might be the thing you do to have a return value. There, now, this is global, which means it's going to be cut right across the definition of functions. It's not going to make a temporary copy of it. It's going to refer to the copy outside here. So this a, which is 1, now it's going to double it, and a should turn into 2. What did 2 takes positional arguments? Oh, yes. I decided not to pass any variable to it. All right. There. So this is global variables. And I've gotten confused by this many times. I'm pretty sure in other languages you're able to pass things up here and it changes what you pass up there. But anyway, that's not the case here. Any variable you pass in as an argument is not changed outside the scope of the function. All right, so that's one thing that got me a million times. The other thing that I mentioned before, which has got, this one has only got me a couple times. The one that gets me constantly is this. A equals, all right, and B equals 4, 5, 6, and, whoops, all right, and C equals A, B, there. And you people, some of you people seem to understand this. If I print C, and then I set A sub 0 equals 4, and I print C, what happens is it changes this number to 4. So this does not create an independent list of those numbers. This simply creates pointers back to here. And I made this mistake over and over and over and been baffled until I remember that for some cruel reason in Python you got to do copy. This has been the default in every more primitive language that I spent decades using. I guess in Python they want to make it efficient by not making extra copies of things. You have to tell it to make a copy. And now you have a copy of the original list that is not being modified. I'm slowly getting used to it. If you want to really get a headache, use PowerShell, Microsoft's new command line language. Everything is an object, everything is a reference, and you chain them together, and it gets real mind-bending real fast. But anyway, I just mentioned these are stumbling points that I have stumbled on over and over. This one many times. The other one real recently, where I was passing things to an array and expecting them to update when they're inside a function, passing them to a function, expecting the arguments of the function to update, but of course they won't, not unless I make them global. And if you make them global and then your function is iterative, it gets pretty strange. Anyway, so those are a couple of pitfalls.